So today what we'll do is we will try to create a new repository, and this time instead of pushing in some simple text files, rather we will be pushing in our code, our project, Eclipse or Java, or actually Java project. So let's get started. I will do what? I will first create a repository, and to do that, you need to install Git. We discussed that yesterday. To do that, you need to have GitHub account. We discussed that as well yesterday. So I'm hoping you guys have already done it. So you click on create new repository, and once you do that, you come to this page. Then you have to give a reasonable, sensible name to the repository. Usually, this the way I see it is, the way I do it is, I give it the same name, similar to what I would be giving to my Java project. So my one Java project represents one GitHub repository. Is it mandatory to do? No, because GitHub doesn't know, or Git doesn't know whether it's a project or whether it just keeps track of only two things: folder and files. What are there in the files, how the folder is structured, it doesn't have any take on it. So you can keep 5 projects inside the same repository, that can also work. Or you can also keep one project representing one repository, and that is, in my opinion and industry's opinion, is the right way to do. This gives modularity to your projects you are creating. So each project you create, it should have a separate repository. Okay, someone posted something. Yeah, I also sent the repository. Yes, Sham, I saw that as well. Good work. Good work all to all whoever actually have done this. But there is more to come, so do that as well. So today we are doing this creation of new repository, and there we will put our Java code, and we'll try to learn few more things, few more Git concepts there. So let's say I'm going to create a project. I'll write my first Java Git project. Now here I can write to be deleted. This is only for my reference. You give a sensible names. I'm rewriting this because I would like to delete these repositories later on. So that's the reason I'm putting this in to be deleted. You have the option to put private and public. So keep it public. It's good to demonstrate your work to the whole world. There's no point of keeping things private until unless you really need to do. Else keep everything public. Then select add a readme, select add .git ignore, and here you select Java. Today I'll explain what this git ignore means. Then you select Java here, and license, it's okay, you don't have to choose any license here. And in this case, if you notice, the branch it will create as main. Yesterday I was explaining something to do with a branch called as master. But here in this case, if you're doing it for the first time, you will see something called as main, which is okay. Keep it as main for now. Don't worry too much about the branches. So there will be a branch, and that branch will be named as main. That's all you have to do. Then you just click on create repository, and once you create the repository, you will get a URL here. It will navigate to this URL, but you will get this URL as well, which is actually your Git URL. So this is the URL which you'll always use to do or interact with your repository. Okay. Okay. What is the difference between main and master branch? There's no difference between main and master branch. The concept in Git is that you can divide your code into multiple branches. Okay, so branch there, and you can create any branch. For example, I can go and create a branch called as master here. Create master from main. Now I have two branches. I can create branch as this also. This is my new branch. Okay, so branch is nothing but you can say a snapshot of a specific branch at that specific point of time, and they can grow independently. Now could be this statement which I just made could be confusing. So I don't want to get into I don't want to get into branches as of now, because it will further confuse you if you're very new to this. So I'm not going to jump into it. Just assume that there is a repository, and inside that repository there is a branch called as main, and inside that main branch you have files. That's all you need to know as of now. And later on, the more we progress further, I will keep on introducing these concepts to you, because eventually we will be learning, doing, interacting things, sorry, collaborating using branches only. So I will be talking about that, don't worry. But there's no difference between main and master. They are name of two different branches. You can create n number of branches, up to you what branch you want to create. Okay. But yeah, that's a usual doubt people could face, what is main and what is master, which is still a good question, Pranali. Okay. Now assume, as I said, we are on to main. This is our main branch. Now we have to start doing what? We have to start pushing in our code inside this specific repository, isn't it? So two ways. One way is either you clone it. So you copy this, you go to your local folder, uh, you go to your local folder wherever you want to go, and there you actually create something as any subfolder, or you just open command prompt inside it, and you just type the command. So I will be using this. I'll open the command prompt and I will do what? I will say git clone and name of the branch. Now the moment I do this, uh, it will sync this folder wherever I have done it, which is here, which is here. You see my first Java Git project. This is what I created here, isn't it? This is what my first Java Git project is what I've created. So when I did the cloning part, it has come here inside this. Right? So this is one way of doing it. You first clone it. The moment you say git clone, the it will come here, and then inside this you can create a project. You can create project, copy paste project, all those things you can do when you do this. Okay. This way we also seen yesterday, but today I'll show you another way of doing it. This is like how you will do it when you do it for the first time. So one way is this, and there can be another way. That is what I'll talk next. So what you can do is you can go and create a folder here, new folder, and you can give it any name, but I would prefer you to give it the name of the project, because as I said, the git repository, my preference is always that the git repository is similar to the name of the project. And let's say this is the name of the project. Okay. Now right now currently this is blank, there's nothing in it. So what I'll do is I will run some commands. Intention is to tell you about those commands. So I am here where I am. Where is my first this one? Right now you notice this is empty, there's nothing in it. I will run a command called as git init. Okay, the moment I do this, I get a folder here, a small folder, and this is a hidden folder. You might not be able to see it if you have a setting where you have selected hide hidden folders, something like that, in the windows. If you do have, then you won't see it because this is a hidden folder. You can go to, I don't know what the place from where you can show hidden files, but there is something to do, something in the browser, something in the uh, top panel of the window. From there you can have go to select some properties, and then from there you can select it. So you'll see something like this there. If you expand it, there will be a lot of information. This is all git specific information. This is how git knows what are the changes which has been new, what are the new changes, what are the new addition, what are the new deletion. All these things will be taken care and dragged from this file. So this is the most important file of within a git repository. Okay. Sorry, your local git workspace. This tracks everything, all the information. Now once you do this, then you can go to your Eclipse or IntelliJ. For example, I'm here, I'll go and new project, and let me see, select Maven. Next I will give a name here. Sorry, this is my name of the project. And sorry, here you can go and select it. You can go and select it. Actually, you can click here. Okay, I think I made a small mistake. Let me do this way. Let me not do this now. Let me delete this. uh, Sorry for confusing you guys. Okay, so I'll just do this again. So first I will not create a folder. I will first create a project. So I'll go to file, new, create a project. I'll go to Maven, click on next, give it the same name, and here this will be my name of the folder where it will go and create it, and click on finish. This window. Now, the moment I create this project, this Maven project, the folder will be automatically created here. You see, previously I actually created the folder manually, and then I was trying to go and create a project. But reverse this process. As I said, there are different ways of doing it. I mixed up two ways. That's the reason I have to roll back. So first step is, first you will go and create a repository. Here you give it some name, then you come back and then you create a project using your Eclipse or your IntelliJ. And once you create the project, then you have to go to wherever you have created the project. So I have created the project inside this folder, and you will see the same project name folder will be created. So whatever name is coming here, it also appearing here, also appearing here. Okay, now you will do those steps which I was just talking about. So you'll open the command prompt inside, or open git bash here, and then you start your command, which is git init. So moment you do git init, you will see a git folder being created here. Okay, and then you do a git status. It will say there are 3 untracked files which is present here. Okay, next step to do is you would do a git. We will have to run a command, git remote add origin, and name of the file. Okay, so if you go and check the repository, these commands are also listed there. Let me open it. Wait, this is the command. Okay, so you have to run this command, git remote add origin, and this is how you are telling the project or git client where you want to push these files, to what repository you want to push these files. Because if you see, what we really did is, in my local system, all I did is I created a project, and then I initiated a git client or git repository inside my folder. But I still have not told this specific git or my git client where I want to push these files, isn't it? So that's the reason I need to run this command. This is how I am instructing my git, that where specifically you will have to push these files to what location over internet. And this is called as remote repository. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to set my remote repository. So the command to do that is, I'll say git remote add origin and the name of the URL which I have. And from where I'm getting this, I'm getting this from here. From here, this is what you need. Don't try to do this. Sometimes people, they make this mistake and do this. So I'm doing this from here. Okay, press enter. Nothing changed because I have just added a remote. I did nothing. But if I do a command called as git pull origin main, you will notice I just got two new files from here. That means to check whether this remote is working. You see, when I ran this command git remote this, I have linked this folder to this folder. So I have added something new here because I have added this IML file, idea file, some POM file, some SRC folder, isn't it? And but there are also two new files here called as git ignore and readme here. Now to check whether I have actually properly connected my folder to or to remote repository, I have to run this command called as git pull origin main. And when I did this run this command, when I ran this command, it actually has brought this information, all new information from this specific URL. So this proves that this folder is now connected with this folder because these files it has pulled from there. Any doubt so far in this? It could be a little bit confusing, guys, I understand, but if you do it for 3-4 times, you will be very clear with it. Any doubts?
Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
Akash, the data you are sending from your local system to that GitHub, or from that it is accessing your local data.
I have just pulled, I haven't pushed anything, I have pulled it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
If there is any update also, if we use that
so
pull command, it will get the latest update, right?
yes. So I have done three things now. So let me tell step by step. I did what
Okay.
I did. I created a repository. Then I came to my local machine. Then I created a, let me make it bigger. And then I created a folder. Sorry, and created a project using Eclipse or Idea, IntelliJ. Then I ran command. What command did I run? I should say, open git bash inside the workspace or project, because when you create a project from Eclipse or IntelliJ, it actually creates a folder structure, so you have to go to that folder structure. So when you go to that folder, and inside that you have to open git bash inside the folder, and once you do that, inside that you will run command, I will run command called as git init or initialize git. Then when I do that, this will do what? This will create a hidden folder with the name as .git, right? We saw that. Then I did what? Then I run the command git remote add origin git URL. Okay, this is doing what? This connects your folder, this connects your folder to remote repository in GitHub. So we did these things only. Now we have to test whether they are connected, right? Test whether they are connected. So what to do? So I did what? I ran a command git pull origin main, right? What this is? Origin here what? Because you see I have said git remote add origin. That means origin is a word. I have associated origin with the URL. Which what URL? This URL. So when I'm saying here git pull origin main, it means I want to instruct git to pull the content or data from a URL called as origin, which I've set already, and bring it to a branch, or bring it from a branch and to a branch called as main. So when I run this command, and if git succeeds in executing this command, this proves that this folder This proves that this folder is connected with this specific repository. So I have only done this much. That is, I have only pulled it. I haven't pushed anything. So still things are still in my local. I haven't
Yeah,
pushed.
thanks.
Okay. Now we'll do the next thing. So we are, where is my project? Oh, this is my project. So I will do what? There will be an error. Let me just save it as it is. It's okay. I will just go here and I will go and create a file in Java. Let's say I'll say my Java class, new class, my first class. I'll write something here. And same class I will just put in the test folder also. So now I have started writing my code. So same thing, you will do what? You will start writing on Java code. You do things this and that, etc., etc. Just push things and just put your something inside, because you're doing a lot of assignments. You're doing a lot of Java assignments. So you create a repository named as my Java assignments. Okay, and then all the assignment which you're doing, you can put inside it, or you can create multiple repositories, one repository representing one type, specific type of assignment. For example, all the for loop assignments are in this, all the if conditions assignments are in this repository. So this will help you in practicing this concept. So I recommend you create at least 5-10 repositories for different kind of work which you're doing. This will give you enough practice of creation of repositories and pushing in putting in sorry pulling and pushing your code there. So I have just for demonstration purposes, I added these two classes here, and I'll go back here. So what I'll do, I will run a command, git status again. Now git status, very important command. It always tells you what is there which has been changed. So you can actually get to see what is there which has been changed. Few things are coming in red, few things are coming in green. Things are coming in green, that means they are marked for staging. That means if you do a git commit as this point, if you do a git commit, only whatever marked as green will go inside and nothing else. Okay. If you do a git add dot, whatever marked in green and sorry whatever marked in red will become green. So as I said, this is three-step process. First step is add, second is commit, third is push. When there is no command, everything is in red. If you make a change, everything will be in red. When you do a git add, it will turn into green. When you do a git commit, it will commit the changes in the local repository, but still it's not in the remote repository. Then you do a git push origin main, then it will go to the main repository or remote repository. Okay. So when I do a git add dot, everything will be added, but I will not do that. I'll tell you the reason why I don't want to do it. Because the idea is that inside the repository you should only have the source code and nothing else. Now in my case, if you see, I have source code, but I also do have some specific kind of file which I don't want to have. For example, .idea. Secondly, iml. This is IntelliJ specific files. This is not source code. So I don't want to add any IntelliJ specific files. Now let me show an example of what I'm saying. I think someone sent me a repository also. Yeah, so this is the repository Sham sent. Now I see here some mistake. The mistake here is that this is you have tried to push in your source code, but you've also pushed in dot settings. You have pushed dot class path, dot project, and a bin folder. Inside bin folder, you have dot class files. Now if I open dot class files and click on view raw, it will not be able to show me, because this class file is called as binary files or compiled code. I don't want these files here. Git is made only to keep your source files or source code, which always will be residing inside src folder. So this is a mistake. The reason you mistakenly added this is because when you did git status, when you did git status, it was showing all the things which was there, which has been added or changed. So all you did was git add dot and it added everything. So don't try to do that. Always commit or add only those files which are relevant, which are actually is the important part of the project. So in my case, I only need to add two things, which is my anything to do with src folder, whatever is inside src, I need to do it, and the pom.xml file also, because without this maven project won't work. So these two folders, sorry, one folder called as src and all the subfolders inside it, and pom or pom.xml file. I don't need these files, these two. So I will not be doing git add. So there are two options I have. Either I will just independently select these. I'll say git add this, git add pom.xml, and I do git status. So now if I do a git commit, it will commit these things. Okay, it will commit only what is coming in green, not what is coming in red. So understand this, when you do a git commit, this command will only check what is coming in green. uh, I should not say green or red, but I am just referring color coding it to tell you that whatever coming is in green is called as staged, whatever is not coming in green or coming in red called as unstaged. So commit always, this git commit always takes staged files, also called as green files. Okay, but there is a better way to do it. Instead of selecting these files individually, there are better ways to ignore the files which are no longer needed. Those files here are these two files, right? Because every time I try to make some change, they will always come. And sometimes by mistake, if I do a git add, which is a very convenient way to do, you will not be able to use git add, because every time you do this, they will be added, right? So let me simply do a git reset first. When I do a git reset and do a git status, everything will become unstaged again. Okay, everything will become unstaged. src folder, everything is unstaged. Okay, now I will make use of a very specific file called as git ignore file. So remember, we created this git ignore file in the beginning when we have created the project, and this is where you mention or instruct git that you should not take these files into consideration. And that's where I have written class files, log files, ctxt, jar, var, nar, zip, rar. These files should not be added. And here itself I can also mention these things, which is I don't want IML files, right? So I will put I don't want anything to do with all the file which starts with IML. I don't want, and I don't want any idea folders also. So now if you notice, now if I do a git status, these files, two files, are not coming here. So that means git has ignored them, and that's the use of git ignore dot git ignore file. This is an instruction to git that ignore these files. And now I can safely do git add dot. So when I do git status, uh, it is only adding what is necessary. It is not adding what I didn't want it to add. For example, these two, it's only doing this much. And then I do what? I do a git commit new files or first version or whatever, git push origin main. Okay, what happened? Source ref spec main does not match any. Mm-mm-mm. Something gone wrong, is it? My first Java project.
He said nothing to understand.
Sorry, works. You can also make use of your IntelliJ and Eclipse to commit, check in, and check out your code. So I'll tell you that next. So for example, I'll go here and make another changes. some changes here, and let's say I've added another file. Let's say, and I have added another file with this name. Now if I go to my command line, I will do git status. I'll get these things here, right? So I can repeat the same process of running commands, saying git add dot, git commit, and git push, or I can actually make use of IntelliJ or Eclipse. In your case, we're using Eclipse to commit these changes via Eclipse. How to do that? I'll go here, go to Git, and there I have some options here. So I'll click on push. Uh, Rather, you will also find some options here. If you're using IntelliJ, if you're using Eclipse, then you will have an option called as team. So I'll also show that. I'll open Eclipse meanwhile, but to do that, you just go here, click this button, and you will see something here. So when you click on these, that means you want these two files to be committed. Then you write some commit message here, committing new changes from IntelliJ, and you click on commit and push. Commit and push, push. See how easy it is. It just pushed all the new changes which I just made. New
Hello,
changes from IntelliJ. Yeah,
Marcus.
okay.
How we can pull the data from here actually using IntelliJ?
It's simple. This is a button, update project. Okay. So everything is here. I mean, you all have to do is to right click on the project and you can just pull it. Pull, push, everything is here. But I would ask you not to use this, use command line. It's not a, you, otherwise if you start using this, you will never learn command line, and you will not be able to answer interview questions. Lot of interview questions are sometimes, not sometimes, I think 80-90% times they will ask you git, tell me this git command, can tell me that git command, and you cannot memorize it if you haven't practiced it. So I actually made a mistake of telling you that you can also do it from IntelliJ and Eclipse. I shouldn't have told you, because people always try to choose the easy path. uh, so don't use this, always use command line in the beginning, because it's your learning phase. Use command line only, and I will not tell how to do that in Eclipse, to save you guys from making mistake of not practicing it from command line. The idea is that from here also you can do. That's the whole only point I wanted to make. Any questions in this so far, guys?
Yeah, Akash, just one question
Mm-hmm. Yeah, carry on.
that while doing pull and push through my first the project work should be configured to a repository. And
Actually, your voice is breaking. I couldn't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
yeah, on doing pull and push from the Eclipse from the IntelliJ,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to configure that the project work before sending or receiving the from IntelliJ to the Git repository.
Yeah, so you have to configure. For configuration, you have to do these command which I was talking about, which is
Okay.
you need to do this command, which is
Okay.
uh,
That command should be we need to from command line, right?
yeah,
First.
you have to do
Then only we are able to. Okay, fine.
yeah, you can, no, you can also do it from Git. For example, I never do this when I want to do it. All I have done is I have configured my project, and I have connected my project with my GitHub repository. So what all I do is I do project from version control. I go here, and I simply, all the project which I have here, all the projects are coming here. You see, so many whatever projects I have, of which I am owner, comes here. I will just check out from directly from here. So that option is also there. You can explore this also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have linked this, I have done this linking of GitHub with my IntelliJ here.
Okay,
So I don't have to run these commands. I never do these commands, Git init and all these things. I do them only when I am creating a new project, maybe. But that also is not mandatory. I can also manage it from IntelliJ. But as I said, there are 1,000 ways of doing things. uh, don't get involved in all of those. Just try to learn one standard way of doing it, and that's it. And then later you can explore. There are many, as I said, there are many ways. You don't, your aim is not to do all. For example, when we learned for loop, we did not learn a lot of different types of looping. We just learned for loop. So once we understand how for loop works, then it's easy for you to understand do while and all those things, because concept here is not for do or while. Concept is looping. Same way here also. They don't have to worry, don't have to learn all the ways you have. You can do this. There are many ways to do this. If you try to learn all at the same time, you will get confused. You will try to apply two rules from that way, three rules from that way, and then things will stop working. uh, just use command line. Don't try to do it from IntelliJ. That's my advice. Otherwise you will be very confused. Just
Yeah,
use
yeah.
command line. To create a project, go create a repository, come to local, create the project, open git bash, go in it, remote add origin, and that's it. Then simple commands are git add, git commit, git push, git pull. That's it. There are four commands you need for in the beginning. There are a lot of things you can do, but now, as of now, these are what you need.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Akash.
Yeah. I will put this somewhere, maybe here. Mm, any questions so far in this?
But we were talking about version control yesterday.
Yes.
How we can find the changes made, or when changes made, or who made the change?
Okay. So when you come here, right, when you are committed things, there is some options coming here, right, and some ID also. If I go and click on this, it is telling me at what time what is being committed and what is the ID of that commit. So this is called as hash code or commit ID. Okay, so I have, it is telling me that in the master branch I have committed 3 times, and for every time what I have committed, I have to go inside this, and it is now telling me what have you committed in this specific build. So in this first commit, I added these files. Whatever marking as plus here, that means I have added those lines. Let me go back to this one. So I committed after this commit, this is what I committed as first version. So I'll go and click here. Now it is telling me that in this commit you added 4 files: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now in this file everything is plus. That means I have added this file for the first time. Here also added this file for the first time. They all are marked as plus plus. That means I have added these files for the first time. But here it is telling me that these lines were already there. That means git ignore file was already there. You just added 3 more entries here. Okay. Now let me go back to the third one. So I'll go here. Now here, more interesting thing. Here it's telling me you've added 1 file, everything is plus. Here it is telling me something was already there, because in this line number 4 here, no plus symbol is coming, right? So it's telling me this file was already there. You have just changed this file and added 3 entries here, 3 lines here. So this is how you can trace what was committed and who committed and what exactly was the change made in the file for each commit. So this is called as history or commit history.
Yes, okay, I understood.
Yeah, so there's more to come here, because there are concept of pull requests and this and that. For people who are interested, more interested, because I'll not be talking more about Git in at least for 2-3 weeks now. Whatever you need to put in your code, I've already explained, so I will not be talking about this. I would be expecting you guys to push in all your code here and keep on sending the links to me after each assignment completion, so that I could go and review them. But that's not the end of the learning for Git. I will be taking more sessions, one more session on Git, on so-called advanced concepts in Git, but that would be later. But if any one of you are still interested to explore more, and I recommend you guys to do or learn more, I would ask you to do 2 things. One, go through this document fully. It has a lot of good details about the intricate or small details about what and how Git works. So go through this. Secondly, there is another repository I have here called as Git Advanced something. Yeah, this one, tutorial Git Advanced demo. Go through this as well. This again has a good details about how things work in a real project. So each developer is assigned a ticket, and then developer do create a branch out of this and that. It's a lot of good details here, and then step by step ways of how to simulate it. So you can try read this as well and try to do it, because there are a lot of screenshots here. Just if you just simulate it, you should be able to do it. Okay. uh, all right. So I think this is all I have. I don't have any other topic on my agenda. Now let me just go back to what we were doing earlier. Let me just summarize, and let me set the foundation for next session. So I'll go here. This is what we have been doing. Just to summarize, we did objects creation, classes. We did if condition, if else conditions. We learned debugging. We learned for loops. We learned arrays. We also did saw some array list concept as well. You see, we were talking about this also. Now in the next session, also we did the exception handling, and I gave you some assignments to work on. I hope few of you have done it. I saw some repositories. If you have not completed your assignments, complete them. If you have completed but not put inside the Git repository, do that, because whatever we have just covered in these 2 days is also your assignment. So complete that also. So within 2-3 days, I would expect you guys to have your own Git repository, wherein you have put in all the code which we have talked about so far, calculator example, this and that. Okay. And from next session onwards, we, as I promised last time, we will be starting with the Selenium, the basics of Selenium. So we'll be doing that. I will be sending some more links for specific assignment, or I will also be sending some pre-reading material for you to go through for before you join the next session of Selenium. Okay guys, now what do we have? I think this is all I have. Let me see if I have any question. Yeah, inheritance also I've covered. Yeah, so I'm actually thinking of creating a new assignment which would cover everything what we have learned so far. So try doing that assignment. I will be sending shortly, maybe not today, but at least in 2-3 days. So try to do that assignment. That will cover all the concepts of class, objects, constructor, overloading, inheritance. I'll try to make that assignment which will cover all these things, and then you will have to put that solution into your own separate GitHub repository. So don't keep on sending same repository to me every time. Good practice is one project, one repository, and try to divide your projects work into different projects. That's called as modularity. It's a good practice. Don't try to put everything in a same place. It's a bad thing to do. All right, any questions?